Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Welcome to another playoff doubleheader on TNT. We'll tip it off with that Eastern Conference semifinals struggle between the Knicks and Bulls, squared at 2. Game 5 at Chicago Stadium. The Knicks' Pat Riley trying to plant a seed of doubt on the Bulls' home court.
I've always felt that the fifth game, when it's even, is a big-time pressure game for the home team. You know, I mean, I hated fifth games when it was tied 2-2, but you know, they're a championship team. They've been there before, but we have an opportunity.
We want to come out and play extremely well on Tuesday, and we know this team is something you can't just take them for granted because they played well and beat us in Chicago. So I'm pretty sure the enthusiasm is going to be there for them.
And game 2. And will take over the head coaching job in Milwaukee, where he and an assistant coach. Today,
I hope to accomplish here, I think that we did a lot. And I'm good about the job that I did here, and I'm hoping that I can now go back to Milwaukee and get that championship that I so desire.
now, as part of the deal to let Dunleavy out of his Laker contract, L.A. will receive 2 second-round draft picks from the Bucks. In New Jersey, Bill Fitch resigned today after 3 years with the Nets. He took them to the playoffs this season amid some turbulent times, well-publicized run-ins with Derek Coleman and Chris Morris. Fitch says it was his decision, and he leaves a team he says has the potential for greatness. And on the Olympic front, as expected, USA Basketball has filled the 2 remaining roster spots with the addition of Portland's Clyde Drexler and Duke's Christian Laettner, who will be the only player with no NBA experience on that squad. Another Olympian will join us at halftime tonight. The Sixers' Charles Barkley is our studio guest for both games of this doubleheader, so we'll see you at the half. Right now, kick back for the Knicks and Bulls Game 5, followed by Game 4 of the Jazz Sonics series on TNT.
Along with Doug Collins, this is Bob Neal. Welcome to the Madhouse on Madison Street, Chicago Stadium. Tonight, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Knicks and the Bulls. It was exactly 7 days ago on this night, at this time, that Doug Collins and I opened this series telecast by talking about the Bulls' domination of the Knicks in the regular season. They swept 4. We talked about would the Bulls sweep the series. Then, less than a minute and a half gone in quarter number 1, Charles Oakley, former Chicago Bull, set the tone for the series for the New York Knicks. They had just finished a 5-game victory over the former bad boys, the Detroit Pistons, and the Knicks said, "We are here." It also started Bulls coach Phil Jackson into thinking about the officiating, thinking about the physical intimidation, and the Bulls have had that on their mind. They now find themselves 2-2.
Well, Bob, I think the real key for Chicago tonight is they've got to get rid of all the distractions, whether the game is physical, however the game is called, whatever the officials do out here tonight. They are the world champions. They must find a way. They have the home court advantage to win this series. They must put the distractions behind them.
2 of the players who have to put those distractions behind them are Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, both having subpar series.
Well, I think the one thing that we've talked about all along is that if Chicago is vulnerable, it's the fact that Pippen and Grant along the front line are not physically strong. They're very quick. They're very fast. They love to get out on the break. But see with Scottie Pippen in this series, 38% field goal percentage. They've taken away his easy scores, and they are both struggling at the free throw line. They need big games from those guys tonight.
And as we said, this is Game 5 of this 7-game series. 2 at home, 2 away, and then 1-1-1. This is a very significant game in a 7-game series.
Well, I'm going to go even more than that. It's a very significant first quarter. The team that has won the first quarter in this series has won every game. When Chicago gets out to a quick start offensively, they play well. New York must establish their defense in quarter number 1.
Well, it's been a fascinating 7 days in May. The Bulls look like on the verge of sweeping through to repeat a championship series, and then the Knicks came with their tough play. We'll meet the players and get the tip-off for Game 5 from Chicago Stadium after this. Welcome back to Chicago Stadium on West Madison Street. The crowd inside this arena, 18,600, had a totally different welcome to the New York Knicks than they did last week. They booed the Knicks when they walked into the arena. And the Jeep Eagles starting lineups and the key matchups here, Doug.
Well, I think you have to look right at the top. You have to look at McDaniel against Pippen. The X-Man has played very well. Scottie Pippen needs a big ball game. And Charles Oakley against Horace Grant. Horace Grant needs to have a good quarter offensively. Maybe get out and get a couple easy scores. He plays much better when he scores early.
Pat Riley took the Los Angeles Lakers, who were very athletic, and turned them into a finesse team. Showtime, they called it. He goes to New York, less talent. He finds muscle, strength, and a New York City attitude. He's coached what he's had, and he's got him to a 2-2 tie with the Bulls. What a job he's done. Phil Jackson is frankly struggling, and tonight he is without go to the hospital, and John Bach, a significant coach, particularly defensively and with his experience for Phil Jackson.
He does. Phil has trusted a lot of the defensive schemes that they run, so they will miss Johnny Bach tonight. And defense is the key, obviously, for both of these teams, as baskets have been very hard to come by. Now let's take a look at the first quarter. This is the key. When the Bulls have won 20.5, that's why it's important for them to have a good offensive first quarter, and on the reverse side of that, New York must set the tone defensively. All eyes are on these three officials, Bob, as we see their names right there. They'll either be very popular or unpopular as this game unfolds tonight.
Hugh Evans, Lee Jones, and Jack Nees. The Knicks win the tip. The Bulls held Michael Jordan to 4 points, and the Knicks did, and the Bulls to 16 points in game number 1. McDaniel gets fouled hard, no whistle.
Well, if that's the tone, then it has been set because Michael got away with a foul. And there's a quick score from Horace Grant.
2-0 Bulls. So the Bulls have come out here. You can see Michael Jordan right now bodying up, physical, on Gerald Wilkins. 8 seconds to shoot. Wilkins goes for the three and drains it. 3-2 Knicks.
Big basket and nice composure by New York. But Bob, with the first possession, Michael got away with a foul against the X-Man. I guess that was a 2-point shot. I thought it was a 3, but he got away with a bump. If that's the case, then we're going to be in for a long, hard night here.
Wilkins stepped on the line. It's tied at 2. 1 minute gone in the first quarter.
See if they try to establish Bill Cartwright in the post, too. He really has not been a factor in the post in this series at all.
Going to Grant early, and he has 4 points.
I think it's very, very important. I think his defense picks up, his rebounding picks up. He's a totally different player.
Offensive foul on New York.
Foul, New York, 33, Patrick Ewing.
It's against Patrick Ewing.
The quickness of Horace Grant against the strength of Charles Oakley. The quick first step, and Ewing cannot get there quickly enough to bother the shot.
Ewing got in foul trouble in game number 4, and now he has the first foul in this game. Bulls 4-2.
We saw a lot of this in game 3. Michael posting up.
And Michael traveling. Knicks ball.
Michael in game 2 here in Chicago had the big first quarter, 17 points in the first quarter, most of it done in the low post.
McDaniel to Oakley from outside. It is tied at 4.
I like New York's composure here early in the game. The crowd is hostile. They're doing a very good job of executing their offense.
Well, they got the big monkey off their back when they beat the Bulls at the stadium for the first time since 1980.
Does not like to post. He's not a great post player. Michael Jordan is.
4 seconds to shoot. Paxson in trouble. 1 second on the shot clock. It's Bulls ball.
Jordan, so be aware of Michael Jordan on the little lob play.
1 second.
Bob, the one thing you don't want in this situation is you do not want to commit a foul with a ball not being thrown in. That's a 2-shot foul, so you got to make sure you let the ball become inbounds before you foul if you are going to foul.
Looking for Jordan. Paxson is open for the shot. It was prior. The buzzer sounded, wave off the basket. Tied at 4, Knicks ball, violation. Knicks with 13 on the shot clock. Wilkins from long range. Rebound, Horace Grant. Bulls want to run. Jordan has Pippen right.
Xavier McDaniel's down on this end, so Pippen takes advantage of it.
Xavier McDaniel is sitting on the floor.
Going to take a 20-second timeout. I don't think Pat Riley sees it. He better get a 20-second timeout.
He's trying to call it. Now they get 20 seconds. McDaniel is up, walking over to the side. And he's mad.
I didn't see what happened. It looked like he's upset with Oakley. Looked like he and Oakley said something to each other.
Sure does. And they are very angry.
I did not see what happened. All I saw him was coming out of the pack.
Pat Riley has them together. You see Wilkins, Oakley, McDaniel, and Ewing in the huddle along with Jackson. This game is 6-4 Bulls with 8:59 to go in the first quarter, and you can feel the tension in this building.
Well, remember now, this is the defending world champions that people thought were going to waltz through this series. And Bob, I remember saying in game 1 that the one year I coached here in Chicago in '89, we were swept by Cleveland in the regular season and won that series in game 5 in Cleveland. So you can throw the regular season record out. This is a different New York team, and frankly, Chicago's not playing as well as they had during the regular season.
Down to Ewing, has scored yet. 9 on the shot clock. Tough basket for Ewing, and the whistle. Foul.
The basket should count.
Now Riley wants to know if it does. It has not been placed on the board.
Well, the score should count. The basket should count.
The whistle sounded definitely after the ball went through the hoop.
Did they take the score away? The basket did not count?
It has still not been placed on the board, and the officials finally give a very quiet signal to the side.
This is no place for the weak of heart tonight, Bob. I want to tell you what, this is intense.
No place for the weak of whistle either. 6-6. 8:40 to go. First quarter, looking for Grant again. Oakley playing Horace Grant.
See, Ewing has one foul. If they can get another foul on him, that would be major.
Cartwright over Ewing. It's blocked. And stolen. Clock. Pippen had to throw up a prayer. How about Ewing? Got the block in the face of Cartwright, then came up with a near steal, and the Bulls get the violation and turn it over.
Good timing here. Cartwright fades away, and Ewing with the block. Easy score. Pippen was able to get back to retrieve the loose ball.
Knicks looking for their first lead of this game. Wilkins running through a maze of screens on the baseline. Now the pick from Ewing and roll. Good defense by the Bulls. And Wilkins is going to launch it and drain it.
Well, Gerald Wilkins had a big game in game 4. 17 points, shot 7 for 12, had 7 rebounds, 4 on the offensive end. It looks to me like they've come out of here in this first quarter very active with Gerald Wilkins, making Michael Jordan work on both ends of the floor.
Hugh Evans talking to the New York bench. Already the officials showing the strain. A lot of criticism of the officials in this series. Phil Jackson talking now. Jackson was ejected in game number 4 in New York.
I think Phil just wants to make sure that if Pat Riley got to say something, he also got his word in also, wanting to make sure what was said.
Paxson with 7, now 6, 5, Pippen, 3, 2, 1. Another. That's the 3rd violation for the Chicago Bulls, and the Knicks brought their defense back to Chicago.
Chicago looks very concerned right now, as well they should, but there's a look of confusion. You take away Horace Grant's 2 easy scores and Pippen's, and they have not gotten anything in the half-court game.
Jordan has hardly touched the ball. He is scoreless. 10 to shoot for the Knicks.
This is the pace they want, though. They want the clock winding down and then maybe get an offensive rebound.
Knicks ball, new 24-second clock, 7:11 to go first quarter.
Bob, the more the clock that's used, the less opportunity Chicago gets to have with the basketball. The score comes down, and if you keep the score close, you've got a chance, obviously.
That's how this series has gone. Jordan with a near steal. Wilkins.
He'd like to be able to back John Paxson down, really, and take the shot.
Ewing into the paint. The whistle on the hold before he spun into the lane. It's on Cartwright. That's the first on Cartwright. Ewing also with one foul. It'll be inbounded by the Knicks. Team fouls. Both teams with 5 minutes gone in the first quarter have committed only one team foul each. McDaniel open on the baseline screen.
They're setting excellent screens right now and getting very good shots at the basket. If I'm Pat Riley, I'm very happy at the first 5 minutes of this ball game.
New York 5 out of 8 from the floor. Cartwright. There's foul hard by Oakley again. That's deja vu.
That's exactly the same play that we saw in our opening that you talked about. Here comes Cartwright. Here comes Oakley. It's an excessively hard foul. It's 2 shots and the ball.
Charles Oakley with the physical intimidation. Timeout on the floor. Knicks by 4. Knicks lead it by 4, and we talked about Charles Oakley and his foul on Cartwright being almost identical to the same play in game number 1.
Well, Cartwright jumper, he goes past Ewing, and here comes Oakley. Now, the last time this occurred, Cartwright went to the line and missed both free throws. So we'll have to see if Bill Cartwright can compose himself and make the free throws. It's very, very important. Bill Cartwright has not shot the ball well from the free throw line in this series at all. He's 3 for 6 for 50%.
And the Bulls have shot 119 free throws, have hit only 78. That is 65% and is a significant difference in this series.
I think we see the little graphic there also. 3 turnovers, only 1 for New York, and that was on an offensive foul. And there's Cartwright misses the free throw. So Charles sort of looks over here and smiles like my work was done. Now, you also have to understand one thing. They have a guy named Anthony Mason that can come off the bench, so Oakley can play that way. If he picks up a couple fouls, they sub and they don't lose anything.
Cartwright misses them both again. Incredible comparison to that play and the results for the Bulls from game 1 to game number 5.
They need to get Michael Jordan a shot. He's not touched the ball on the offensive end. They got to get him a shot.
Knicks fall up, look like a traffic jam on the Dan Ryan, but the Knicks come away with the missed shot. They lead it by 4 with 6:28 to go first quarter.
McDaniel wants to post Pippen.
Turnaround jumper drained by McDaniel. He's hit his last 2. 8-0 Knicks run.
I still say Michael's got to get a shot.
Here's Jordan, isolated against Wilkins. They deny him the shot and the penetration. Paxson, no. Ewing to Jackson, 3-on-1. Jackson got his own board and put it back up. Couldn't get it this time. Cartwright to Jordan. Over Oakley. Rebound Pippen.
That's what you have to have. When you're not shooting well, you've got to get multiple shots. Scottie Pippen now has 2 baskets, both of them layups. Grant has 2 baskets, both of them layups. That's the only 4 field goals by Chicago.
McDaniel missing this time. Cartwright with the board. Chicago running. This is the game the Bulls want.
Quickly. They'd like to clear it and let Pippen take Oakley. Gives the ball up quickly, though.
Cartwright, hard drive left hand. Bad shot. Oakley rebound. Knicks by 4. 5 minutes to go first quarter.
A little quick shot there by McDaniel. I'm a little surprised, but as I talked to him before the game, he said, Doug, you know, people think we don't want to run. We'll take those shots if they present themselves. We just got to make sure we get back defensively.
Once again, Chicago having trouble scoring. Only 8 points in the first 6.5 minutes of this quarter. Grant wide open.
They're just not pulling the trigger the way they'd like to. I mean, those outside shots are all ones of like, I'm going to take this, but I'm not really sure whether it's going to go in or not. That's why you got to get some layups.
Pippen jammed it up against the backboard and the rim. Therefore, we'll get a jump ball. Chicago shooting 33%. The Knicks 54%.
That should be a break for New York because Ewing should get this tip.
Chicago missed 7 of their last 8 shots. They're going to jump it at half court.
See, you like the balance of New York. When you look right now, you've got McDaniel with 6, Oakley with 2, Ewing with 2, and Wilkins with 4. So they have very good balance right now. I see a very confident team right now in New York, Bob. I don't know what you see out here, but I see a team that feels pretty good about themselves.
They showed great poise when the Bulls came out with all the fire to begin this ball game.
Yes, they did.
4:39 to go first quarter. Knicks by 6. And the Knicks bench has outplayed Chicago in the series.
I think the one concern right now is, if you're New York, is that Ewing does not get the second foul here. That would be a major dent in what they're trying to do right now. He has got to stay out of foul trouble.
Pat Ewing tried to make a very nice pass to Oakley. The Bulls broke it up. It went off Oakley. Chicago ball. Bulls have not scored in nearly 4.5 minutes. Wilkins with the holding foul on Jordan. What's been seen in this series is an allowance of play in the post, and the whistle's not sounding. Yet they have been calling whistles out on the perimeter, calling fouls there.
2 hands on the waist on the perimeter is going to be a foul. Here's Michael in the post again against Wilkins. Surprised they're not coming to get him with a double team. Oh, there's Ewing's second foul. That's just what I talked about right there.
Jordan misses, and we have 4 minutes to go in this quarter. And Ewing is going to probably get a rest here. No, Wilkins is going to the bench, and Mason is coming in.
I think Wilkins is just coming to the backcourt here. But see, Michael, how many guys can hang in the air like that and create that foul? See, I mean, the normal guy gets his shot blocked there. Michael goes up, hangs, sees Ewing coming, and almost propels himself up again to get the foul. That's a big play right there. We'll have to document this, Bob. It's probably going to be 14-10 with 4:02 remaining, and Ewing sits down, although Mason played well with the small lineup in Game 4.
Pat Riley likes this small lineup, with Oakley being the big guy. Full court pressure. Knicks should handle it better with this lineup, actually. Let's see what they do. No problem. Jackson. Hard pass to Mason. How did he break his hands? Good thing Mason is as strong as he is. They'll jump it up.
Good thing he's not a Mason, or he wouldn't have been able to catch it, right?
I like that. They call him Mace. I guess you could call him Brick. What a series he's had. A former CBA player who stepped up. Pat Riley found him, and he definitely delivers in the role he's been placed. Knicks by 4. Bulls making a slow but steady comeback with 3:47 to go in the quarter.
The free throws are west away, though. New York is in the penalty, so Chicago should try to get the ball inside, get something going to the basket.
There's the double team on Grant. Very difficult turnaround jumper. Jordan with the board.
Offensive rebound. Offensive rebounding. That's 2 now. That's Pippen and Jordan with 2 stick backs.
Knicks by 2. Ewing on the bench with 2 fouls. He had foul trouble in Game 4. Oakley just threw it into the waiting hands of Paxson.
That should be maybe 2 in the ball also. I don't know what Hubert Evans is going to call here.
But they are not signaling that the ball will be given to the Bulls on the side.
Now, John Paxson is a right-handed player, but he actually likes to shoot with the ball around the basket with his left hand better. He's really a better finisher with his left hand around the basket. He looked like he slowed down to try to get his steps together there. Jackson was able to catch him and force the foul.
Bulls shooting less than 65% from the line, but John Paxson, an excellent shooter. And here come the storm troops for the Knicks. Starks and Anthony. So when you get Starks, Anthony, Mason, Oakley, and McDaniel in the game, you've got the real bench small lineup for Pat Riley.
Well, we're going to have to watch the rebounding now. With this lineup on the floor, the guards must rebound now for New York.
It's tied at 14. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. 6 straight points from Chicago.
Now, Mason did a good job the other night breaking the press. He was in the ballgame. They brought him back here. He really was the guy that broke the press.
Another steal by Paxson. And he's fouled right at the center line. by Mason. A chance for the Bulls to take the lead. Two defensive gems from John Paxson.
Well, John Paxson, not a guy you really know for stealing the basketball, but a sloppy play by Starks and an excellent play by John Paxson. John Paxson on the season in 82 games shot 37 free throws. This is going to be his third and fourth free throws of the game. So John Paxson's not a guy that gets to the line that often.
Knicks have committed 5 turnovers in 9 minutes.
Remember we were talking too about when you're not shooting well, how do you win basketball games? You rebound and you force turnovers. The one thing Chicago has not been able to do other than game 2 when they forced 23 turnovers is to get New York to throw the basketball away. Tonight we see them turning it over.
Mason again breaking the press. The Bulls on an 8-0 run. The Knicks had one run like that earlier. Knicks having real problem holding on to this ball.
Well, they've scrambled the game right now. Chicago has got New York excited offensively. They got them out of their rhythm.
Here's Anthony. He's had trouble delivering the ball, but he's had no problem taking shots, even though his percentage is very low.
He's absolutely fearless. This young man has unbelievable confidence.
Jordan driving past Starks. No problem. Bulls by 2.
No shot blocker back there. See, Ewing gets 2 fouls. It opens up the middle. No one steps in. That's 3 layups that Chicago's gotten in this game that I've not seen them get in the series.
Pat Riley, wanting to take the crowd and the Bulls out of this run, calls timeout with 2:23 to go in the first quarter, and the Bulls up by 2.
The Bulls play great team win.
Knicks by 2, 2:23 to go in the first quarter.
Well, when Patrick Ewing is not in the game, Michael Jordan is going to see this. Now, watch this. As you take it, we stop it right there. See, Oakley is on the wrong side. He's got to be here. And he's so worried about Bill Cartwright that he's not in this position. McDaniel has got to come here. He is worried about Scottie Pippen. So Michael now makes the turn and goes in uncontested for the layup. New York does not want to give up those kind of easy scores.
Bulls have 18 points, everything coming from inside. 10 points on the breaks, 8 on layups out of that half-court set.
And they
nothing from outside.
They've shot 8 free throws. New York has shot none. 6 for 8. Cartwright missed 2 after the flagrant foul by Oakley. Paxson is 4 for 4. Jordan 2 for 2. So 8-0 on the free throw line.
10 to shoot for the Knicks. They're having trouble with this Bulls defense. That's what the Bulls have raised the level on. 2 John Paxson steals.
See, Anthony can create his own shot.
2 seconds on the shot clock.
That didn't count.
Violation. Bulls ball. Greg Anthony, the rookie, looking very much like a rookie since he come into the game tonight.
You can watch the New York players. They get upset with Greg Anthony when they feel like he starts overhandling the basketball. They get upset. Now, they should be able to go to Cartwright against Oakley and get a score inside.
Starks goes to the floor. Jordan goes to the jumper. Nice save by Anthony. Diagonal pass like a bullet to Starks. Armstrong into the ball game for Chicago. Comes away with a loose ball. Jordan misses the layup. Starks rebound. But Jordan made the penetration.
Yeah, no shot blocker in the game. We see that. Another quick shot by McDaniel. I think the tempo is too fast for New York right now. They're allowing Chicago to get into a run here.
Bulls by 2 points. Pippen.
The charge on Pippen. Well, let me tell you what New York has done a very good job of. Scottie Pippen is a flyer. He leaves his feet and he takes up a lot of space in the air. They have done a great job of every time they leave it and he leaves his feet, someone has been there and he's had contact. That's a lot of offensive fouls he's picked up in these 5 games.
Remember what we said about the first quarter. The team that's won the first quarter has won the game in the first 4. Right now, Bulls by 2 with 1 minute to go. Very low scoring. It's a Knicks pace. McDaniel to the hoop. And it's tied at 18.
Well, what happens if it's a tie first quarter?
Overtime.
We have to have a jump ball or something. We have to decide it.
We get
sudden
a quarter
death.
in Phoenix. Exactly.
That's right. Now, see, I like this. I think Cartwright can score against Oakley.
And you're right.
Oakley's not a shot blocker. If Cartwright is in the ball game right now, you've got to go to him and take advantage. He's not going to score against Ewing, but he will against Oakley.
15 on the shot clock. Bottom right of your screen is the game clock. Now 8. Starks goes for 3. Grant got a piece of it.
Need to hold it out for 1.
Armstrong hit hard from behind by Oakley. Pippen gives the Bulls a 4-point lead with 13 seconds to go in the quarter.
Real frantic pace here. There's really no tempo offensively right now. I think New York got a little scattered during that little run by Chicago.
Anthony fouled hard by Horace Grant. And Anthony having trouble dribbling the ball tonight. He's lost his dribble 3 times.
He's got to calm down a little bit. You know, I mean, it's one thing about being competitive. When you're a point guard, you must set the tone for your team. And if you get excited, your team's going to get excited. Horace Grant took the foul there.
They had one to give in the last 2 minutes. It was an intelligent move.
Right. Greg Anthony took exception to that. Bob, your point guard sets the tempo for your team. You think of a John Stockton, you think of the Isaiah Thomas, the Kevin Johnsons. The way they handle themselves is the way their team responds. As Greg Anthony gets excited, his team gets excited. That's a walk.
That's the end of the quarter. And the Bulls win the first quarter, 22-18. The team that has won the first quarter in the first 4 went on to win the game. Soon it'll be hard to recognize Chicago. Now a new Comiskey Park, soon a new Chicago Stadium. You see the construction cranes across the street here at 1800 West Madison Street. They'll be open for play in the 94-95 season. The Bulls outscored the Knicks 12-4 the last 4 minutes after Pat Ewing sat down with 2 fouls.
That's why I talked about the importance of him staying out of foul trouble. He plugs the middle. He takes away easy scores. Pippen had 3 scores around the basket. Horace Grant had 2. Neither one of them made an outside shot, but the fact they had 5 field goals around the basket really is a key for Chicago.
Ewing back into the ballgame. Purdue in for Chicago, along with Craig Hodges and B.J. Armstrong. Scott Williams joined Scottie Pippen. Rebound Ewing.
We got to keep our eye now. The one thing that the Bulls the bench has struggled through most of this series. When the Bulls bench plays even or ahead, they've been able to win. The Knicks bench has been better in 2 of the 4 games.
Wilkins missing. Rebound to Will Purdue. Bulls by 4. Offensive foul on Chicago. It's on Scott Williams. Williams and Purdue and the big men off the bench are going to have to bring some physical play to Chicago. So far, they have not given them those hard fouls that the Ed Nealys used to give the Chicago Bulls.
Absolutely. They're going to have to go to Patrick Ewing right now. With Will Purdue in the ball game, he can go to him and score.
Looking for Ewing. Armstrong with a steal off Starks.
Boy, Pat Riley's upset at the carelessness of the ball of the guys handling the basket.
Hodges for 3. Bulls' biggest lead of the game. A lead of 7.
So Ewing has not touched the basketball, and Starks and Anthony have been very careless passing. They've got to get him the basketball.
There's Ewing waiting for the double team. 7 to shoot. He has to force the shot. Air ball.
Way to stay up on Hodges.
Loose ball foul on Scott Williams. That's 2 quick ones on the rookie from North Carolina.
See, Hodges is one of these guys you can bring in, and he can ignite this crowd with his shooting. He's one of the few guys, Bob, I've ever been associated with that can sit for 40 minutes and come in and hit 3 straight 3-point shots. He's an incredible guy to have on your team as a specialist to bring in.
10 minutes to go in the first half. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Chicago defense tremendous right now. Offensive foul on Anthony, no?
He's fouled hard as he drives into the middle. The Bulls dishing out some physical play there. And that's Scott Williams with his 3rd. But Doug, as the coach, as the former coach, you know that you need to use the fouls of these guys. Maybe not this fast.
Well, Scott Williams is all right, though. I mean, you know, he wants to establish himself inside. You know, Scott Williams is only going to play 15, 16 minutes max anyway, so if he picks up 3 fouls, it's really no big deal. Cliff Levingston will come in the game right now.
And that was the first free throw for the Knicks in this ballgame.
So Cliff Livingston played very well for this Chicago team in the second round of the playoffs last year against Detroit and also against the Lakers in some stretches. He has really been invisible in the playoffs in the first 6-7 games.
Bulls by 6. The Bulls 6 of 8 from the line, and now the Knicks 1 for 2. Pippen against McDaniel. Ewing missed the block. Purdue with the offside rebound and jam.
Ewing came over to give help. No one rotates down to pick his man up. You cannot give Will Purdue those kind of baskets.
Here's the double team trap. Almost stolen as Livingston stepped into the lane. 10 to shoot. Knicks in a frenzy because of this Chicago defense.
Chicago just absolutely scrambled the game. They've gotten it completely out of their offense.
Violation. Bulls ball. Listen to this crowd.
I think Pat Riley might have to come back in with Mark Jackson to try to calm his team down. Mark Jackson has not had the speed and quickness, but right now these young guards are rattled.
McDaniel gets the rebound. Bulls by 8, 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, they need a score right now.
Ewing with a big rebound. He can't hold it. 4 on 3. Hodges from Pippen. Bulls by 11. 8:39 to go in the first half. Chicago on a 12-1 run, and the Chicago bench arrived here tonight in Game 5. Great defensive play by Chicago.
Well, I'm going to circle the shot clock for you up here so you'll see it. And now the defense of the Chicago Bulls. You're going to see B.J. Armstrong. He's going to come back and get a piece of the basketball. Right here, hold it up right there, the double team. Look at Livingston playing 2 guys. The pass comes out of the double team. And no shot. Excellent defense. And what Chicago has done, they have taken New York out of their offense, out of their rhythm. Patrick Ewing set down. The score was 14-10. And since then, they've been outscored 22-5.
Last 7 minutes, 40 seconds. This Chicago bench has played very, very well. Armstrong, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Hodges, 2 3-pointers. Purdue, a dunk and a rebound.
See, I think it's a good substitution. Mark Jackson in the game. He does not have the quickness, but he has more experience than Anthony. He'll try to calm this team down a little bit.
Wilkins with 5 to shoot, hits the open jumper, and the Knicks quieten the crowd a bit and now trail by 9.
Pat Riley's big concern is when the role players, the specialists of Chicago, perform well, and they are doing that tonight.
Offensive foul called on Chicago. It's on Cliff Livingston.
That's just doing a little bit too much. Cliff Livingston is an offensive rebounder. He's a guy that gets out and runs the lane. When he tries to put the ball on the floor, he gets himself in trouble.
Third offensive foul on the Bulls in this game.
We got the switch. Ewing against Livingston if they can get him the ball.
There's the pick and roll, but McDaniel can't get him the ball. Now 5 to shoot. Wilkins with the penetration. I think he looks like he's hurt. Wilkins having trouble getting up.
I think he looked like he might have sprained an ankle or got kicked in the leg. I do not know. He sort of lost sight of him when he went into the lane, but right now he's gimpy. They get in the lane. Let's see if we can see where it happens. Right there, he rolled over on his left ankle. Oh. Now see, Bob, he has to stay in the game. You're going to see it right there. He's going to land on the ankle and the rollover. He has to shoot the free throws because if Pat Riley takes him out of the game, he cannot come back in.
This is only the 3rd free throw of the game for New York. Wilkins doesn't move off his ankle, but drops the free throw. Bulls by 8. Now, Horace Grant, Michael Jordan back in the game. A big round of applause for Craig Hodges. Pippen also gets some rest.
We'll see Hodges goes in. He gives him 6 quick points. As we talk about the importance of that 3-point weapon. situation. If I'm Chicago, I go right to Michael Jordan against Gerald Wilkins right now because he's limping. I tend to take the ball right by him.
They've posted Jordan against Wilkins. Wilkins staying with him. Rebound Ewing. Wilkins really didn't have to face much of a Jordan move.
No, Michael tried to post that time. Michael looked like he's a little quick with his shot. I think he's looking for when Ewing's coming over from the weak side. He's only 2 for 6.
Down to Ewing, over Purdue. Ewing will go to the free throw line. Purdue called for the foul, his first.
I think the insertion of Mark Jackson was very, very important. They've now scored 4 straight points. They've gotten the ball into Ewing. They're in their offense. Now, again, Anthony, not to try to pick on him, but we see Ewing posting. Jackson gets him the basketball. But you've got to do one thing, Bob. When a team pressure, you fight pressure by pulling back and relieving pressure. You don't go at it quicker. And a little bit right there is what happened with New York.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug and I will be selecting the Budweiser Player of the Game. Patrick Ewing with his 4th point, and the Knicks have pulled to within 5. They trailed by 11. We have 7:14 to go in the first half. Chicago with 14 fouls. Knicks have yet to commit a team foul.
Well, obviously that's important because it's a penalty situation the rest of the quarter.
Jordan backing down inside the lane. We got a 3-second call against Chicago. It's a violation, and the Knicks get the ball.
As Michael is backing down, what's happening is Chicago's not really sure when he's going to take the shot. They're going to the boards, and they've been caught in the lane. That's the second time that's happened.
You made a great point about Mark Jackson re-entering the lineup. It has definitely changed the tempo of the game for the New York Knicks.
It got frenetic. I mean, you saw how frenetic, and Chicago wants that. That's exactly what they want to happen.
Ewing kicks it to Wilkins. Jordan gets right in his face. Back to Wilkins. Back to Ewing for the 3-foot jumper, and New York on an 8-0 run. It's a 3-point game.
Mark Jackson steady, much maligned in many situations because he's not blazingly quick or anything, but has done a very steady job for this team.
Jordan going right past Wilkins. Remember, Wilkins has the sore foot. Jordan has 8 points.
And Ewing has 2 fouls, and he did not want to get the 3rd. He knew what happened the last time he did that.
Bulls by 5.
They're going to have to give Purdue some help against Ewing. Ewing is getting excellent position.
And Jordan with the foul on the 3-point shot by Wilkins.
Well, you don't see Michael do that very often, foul a guy shooting a 3-point shot. Will Purdue working very hard in the low post against Ewing. Ewing just too big and strong. You see him lock him in there. He really wants the basketball, but the shot was taken by Wilkins and the foul by Michael Jordan.
Because of the entry angle, there was no way to get the ball to Ewing. I thought Purdue's position on him was good.
Excellent. See, when the ball's at the top, you 3-quarter, and then what you'd like to do, Bob, is swing the ball and get a good angle to drop the ball in the post. With the ball at the top, Will Purdue is in great position.
Free throws this quarter. New York 6 out of 7. Chicago has yet to go to the line, and the Bulls are now in the penalty.
And let's
make a big difference.
Absolutely, and let's give the officials credit. I think they've done a very good job at this point in the game of keeping this game where it is right now. There's been a lot of emotion for 2 days, a lot of words between these two teams.
Wilkins missing the free throw badly. The Bulls lead it by 4 with the ball.
McDaniel playing against Michael Jordan now.
Jordan with the penetration. A lot more penetration by Jordan in this game than we've seen in the previous games. That's on Wilkins, his second.
I think the important thing will be, will they continue to get that penetration as the game wears on? If fatigue does become a factor in the second half, as you start getting a little tired, we got to point out that Michael has logged almost 44 minutes a game in this series. Pippen about 43 and Horace Grant 41. For New York, Ewing is the only guy that's played minutes. The rest of them have been divided pretty well amongst the other 7 players.
We get Cartwright and Paxson and Pippen back into the ballgame. Big round of applause for the bench play of Livingston and Purdue as they sit down. The bench has been more effective thus far in this game than they have in the 2 Chicago losses, particularly. And the Bulls now lead it by 5 with 5:50 to go in the half. make it 6.
And Michael shooting his free throws well tonight after struggling at 68% the first 4 games.
Mark Jackson beating the pressure here.
You want to take it to the basket, Bob. You're in the penalty. You don't want to settle for jump shots. You want to get to the free throw line. Get the ball to Ewing. Get the ball to Ewing and let him operate.
Wilkins, big drive. Pippen fell and Wilkins took advantage of it.
It looks like Dominique tonight.
Dominique probably watching his Bubba. 11 points, 4 of 6 from the floor.
But he's making Michael work on both ends. I think that's important.
Bulls by 4. 10 to shoot. Now 5. Jordan with a beautiful cut for the ball. He got inside of Oakley to get the ball, and then the call is fouled and charged to Oakley, his second.
You know what the difference I see in New York tonight is? A lot of their fouls are coming on 2-shot opportunities where the guy's in the act of shooting. They've only committed 2 fouls, but both of them now have been shooting fouls. Michael will shoot 4 free throws, so in their 2 fouls, they're both shooting.
And Jordan misses. One of the things the Bulls said, the Bulls were quoted in the newspaper as saying one of the reasons we miss is because we've taken such a physical pounding. Once you walk to the line, you're often dizzy.
Well, I don't doubt that. I think also you're a little upset because of the contact, and you're a little tired. You know, all those things, and then there's pressure. All those things come into play. That's why free throw shooting is so very important in playoff games.
Bulls by 5. Bad pass. Daniel gathered it in and gets the bounce. Xavier McDaniel has really stepped up his play. Both Wilkins and McDaniel are free agents after this season is over.
Well, X-Man's made him some money because I think New York has already said that we're going to re-sign him, so he's made some money.
4:40 to go in the half. Bulls by 3.
Another offensive foul against Chicago.
The 4th offensive foul.
You know what I noticed? The officials are really looking for moving screens tonight. Both teams have been tagged with some fouls on the offensive end, moving on their screens. Now, normally you move when the defense is so good, you're trying to help your buddy get open.
Foul was on Horace Grant, his second. Pippen stepping out for the double team. That leaves McDaniel open in the corner.
They're running screen roll with McDaniel instead of Ewing, and he's sliding down, and they're not getting there soon enough to him. So excellent adjustment there by Pat Riley to get McDaniel to set the screen. He's rolling out, and you can't rotate soon enough to get to him on the jump shot.
Mark Jackson, 6 assists in this ball game, and he's helped the Knicks turn it around. Okay, Coach Collins, some basketball 101 here.
Well, Xavier McDaniel is going to set the screen now instead of Patrick Ewing. This is hurting Chicago, and I'll show you why. As Jackson comes off, Pippen is going to jump it, and Paxson's going to jump it, and McDaniel's going to slide down. We'll run it to that point, and then I'll show you the problem you have. All right, we stop it right there. This is the man that's got to get to McDaniel, and with the spacing on the floor, he can't quite get there. McDaniel's getting the jump shot.
John Paxson hits the bucket off the stoppage of play. Bulls back by 3 with 4:03 to go in the first half. And if you think this is exciting, wait till you see our halftime. Charles Barkley joins Ernie Johnson Jr. in our studio.
Scotty's not going to be able to flop. He better stay up on his feet. McDaniel shooting the jumper well.
And McDaniel has 14 points. It's a 1-point game. Xavier McDaniel, 7 for 11 from the floor. Lucky numbers there.
And Ewing got to be very careful. He almost picked up his 3rd foul.
They left Cartwright alone.
Boy, they want a quick post up with Ewing against Cartwright.
Bulls have done a good job denying Ewing the ball. But they haven't been able to stop the X-Man. He has 16. Pat Ewing only 6 points in this game. McDaniel has the last 8 Knicks points. 3 to go in the half. Illegal defense called against New York.
That's only the first one. That'll be a warning. The rest of them will be a technical free throw and possession of the basketball. Stacey King is going to be checking into the game. He was sick in the first 2 games. Has only played 5 minutes in these 2 series. Now, interesting substitution now by Phil Jackson. The chess match is on. Stacey King goes in on the front line with Bill Cartwright. Horace Grant slides over to small forward to play against the X-Man, and you got Pippen and Jordan in the backcourt.
Great versatility of Scottie Pippen. Grant, open lane to the basket. Ewing stepped out of his way with those 2 fouls. They're definitely on his mind. Bulls by 3.
Now let's see if they moved Horace Grant over McDaniel to give him a different look to try to cool him off. Let's see if Horace Grant can do the job.
They've isolated.
See, Horace a little bit bigger. He can take that jump shot away.
Not this time.
When you're hot, doesn't matter who plays you. You bring on the stadium.
I always thought it was you're hot, but it's when you're hot, it doesn't matter who plays you.
That's right. It's bring them all on.
McDaniel has hit his last 5. Bulls by 1. Pippen. Up and under move past Ewing.
See, Ewing is so tentative right now because he does not want to get the 3rd foul. This last 2:06, vitally important. Bulls up 3. Knicks trying to stay close. Ewing does not want to get his 3rd foul.
Quick double team. Nice pass from Ewing. Over to the X-Man. Not this time. Oakley keeps it alive. To Ewing. Starks.
I don't like that quick 3-point shot.
Jordan has Pippen down on the left, Grant on the right.
And that's why. Long shots, long rebounds, fast breaks. They got a new 24-second shot clock. And Starks launched up a quick 3. He and Anthony hurt them tonight. It's a flagrant foul. 2 shots in possession. The end of quarters and halves really are so important. Let's keep our eyes. It was 43-40. They take the quick 3 when they have the new shot clock. So Horace has 2 free throws and the ball. If New York's not careful, Chicago can go up 10 before halftime.
Horace Grant continues his woes at the free throw line. Horace Grant only 57% from the line in this series. Jackson called for the flagrant foul.
See, it now gets in your head. That wasn't even close. I mean, Horace didn't even want to shoot that one. That's where free throw shooting becomes so mental. And New York remembers that. So anything close, they're going to foul.
Chicago 9 of 14 from the line.
That was 2 big misses right there, Bob. This could be a 4 or 5 point play.
Some defensive confusion on part of the Knicks. They have it straightened out now. Here's Starks trying to stop Jordan. What a scoop shot. Rebound Oakley.
Boy, King with a backcourt foul, too. Not a smart play by Stacey King. So Chicago gets nothing out of the flagrant foul, and Oakley's going to the line for 2 free throws.
Ewing and Jordan exchanging words as they cross the timeline. They're right in each other's face right now at the top of the key. The 2 superstars.
And they're friends also, which goes to show you that that friendship goes out the window when you're trying to defend your title and Patrick Ewing's trying to get his first.
You might call it a discussion of Olympic proportions.
Yeah, you think they were talking about, what do you think about Clyde Drexler and Leitner being chosen to the team? I think they should have gone with so-and-so.
And they have to look that way so we know that they're not just having a casual talk. Oakley goes to the free throw line. Knicks down by 3, 1:28 to go in the half. Down by 2. And Doug, as you pointed out, the ill-advised 3-point attempt, the break on Chicago, the flagrant foul, a chance for 5-point turnaround.
And Chicago got nothing.
0.
I think that Pat Riley has to really think also, too, in the last minute of this half, that he might want to get Patrick Ewing out of the game so he does not get his 3rd foul. We've talked so many times about how important it is to have 4 fouls in the second half as opposed to 3.
There's a minute 28 to go in this quarter. It is a 1-point game. New York 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Chicago 9 of 14. Once again, Bulls with more free throws, but only a 1-point difference in how many they've been able to knock down.
See if Pippen tries to post up Mark Jackson.
You got that right. There's the double team.
You got it.
Pat Ewing says, post me up. Jordan, the whirling dervish. Grant rebound, knocked away by Ewing. Chicago ball.
Boy, Ewing almost got his third foul there, too. That was really close. Pat Riley just took a big, deep breath.
Jordan only 3 for 9 in this game. Starks trying to hold on to him right now. King with the drive in the basket.
You got to know the guy's left-handed. You got to push him to his right hand.
Under a minute to go in the first half. Got the mismatch. Ewing against Cartwright with the jump shot.
See, the double team, Stacey came over to double team. He's not going to be able to do any damage there because Ewing sees it coming, and what he's going to do is expose the backboard. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that with the double teaming of Ewing.
Pippen with the tough drive. Rebound, Patrick Ewing. That's his 5th.
To slow this down and get the ball back to Patrick Ewing. I think Mason's sitting over there on the sideline too, and I think that he'd like to come in for Patrick Ewing.
The Knicks with an opportunity to take the lead in this ball game with only 14 seconds. Ewing, or make that Jackson hit the floor hard. He slipped on condensation, and the Bulls hit the jam.
Oh, what a big play!
Now full pressure from the Bulls because of the made basket. 6 seconds to go in the half. Starks to Oakley, missed the jam. That won't count. The half ends with the Bulls up by 3 after Jackson slips on a wet floor, and the Knicks miss an opportunity to take a halftime lead. Well, this series has not disappointed the first 4.5 games.
On behalf of Coca-Cola USA, it gives me great pleasure to present Larry Johnson of the Charlotte Hornets with the 1992 Coca-Cola Classic NBA Rookie of the Year Award and this specially designed Coca-Cola Rookie of the Year jacket. Congratulations, Larry.
Thank you, Mr. Tanner. I appreciate it. First of all, I'd like to thank Coca-Cola for presenting me with this very prestigious award, and I'd like to thank NBA for letting me play. And I'd like to thank my teammates and my coaches for making this all possible. Thank you.
Larry Johnson, nice trophy, nice threads. Grandmama would be proud. There you have it, Larry Johnson, the Coca-Cola Classic NBA Rookie of the Year. 24 minutes down and 24 to go at Chicago Stadium. The Bulls with a 3-point lead over the Knicks in Game 5 of their Eastern Conference semifinal. I'm Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Prudential Halftime Report, joined by Charles Barkley of the Philadelphia 76ers. It's a pleasure to have you here, Charles. Fun watching a game with this guy, too. Watching your buddy Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing going head-to-head. What do you think they were saying there late in the half?
Well, I think there's a little hostility building up. I mean, because this is a do-or-die situation when you're in the playoffs. This is obviously the pivotal game in the whole series.
You know, before the game, you had Phil Jackson after Game 4 complaining, saying, you know, there's too much rough stuff. Dick Versace, our colleague, is fond of saying NBA means no babies allowed. Is Jackson maybe breaking that rule?
Well, I think his team doesn't handle physical play well, and he's just doing what's best for his team. Obviously, right now, you see the series been real physical, and that's why the Knicks are playing so well. 3-point
game, Chicago with the lead at the half. Some of the NBA news today, a couple of coaching moves. Mike Dunleavy goes from Los Angeles back to Milwaukee. Bill Fitch resigns in New Jersey. We've had coaches in here talking about players for 3 weeks. How about a player talking about these coaching moves?
Well, I think Mike Dunleavy is going to be that's where he wanted to finish up, probably. Lakers, he did a great job there the last few years.
Considering everything that was going on.
Well, considering, obviously, he should have been Coach of the Year, the way all the injuries and the thing with Magic happened this year. But he's going to be happy in Milwaukee. And Bill Fitch is a great man. He's been around a long time, and I think he just didn't want to deal with they have a very young team, and I think it'll probably be better if they get a young coach because the players are totally different now than during his #1 era.
Yeah, a few headaches there in New Jersey this year. As far as the Olympics go, Clyde Drexler was added today. So was Christian Laettner. First, let's talk about Clyde. I mean, how much more talent does a team need, Charles?
Well, I think Clyde Drexler's been having a monster year. I think that's why he got ahead of Isaiah and a couple of guys like a James Worthy and a Tim Hardaway, guys who were on the list also. He just had a great year, and they are probably, if I had to pick, they're my favorite to win the championship, and he deserves it.
Yeah. Now, when you look at Barcelona, you ever think is there a chance you'll lose a game? Is there a chance you'll have a close game?
There's always a chance you can lose, but I don't think we can lose. If we go out there and play up to our potential, we'll be fine.
How is Chuck Daly going to handle guys like you and Michael Jordan and the Mayo Man and all these guys on the same ball club?
Chuck Daly's probably got the easiest job in America. I mean, because the only time a coach has a problem when he has no talent, when you have a lot of talent. And obviously, we're going to this country if we lost. So we're going to take care of the effort. He just had to just say, be professional about it and go out there and do what we're going to do best.
But what's it going to be like? I mean, if you've got 7 great players on the bench at any one time, people are going to be itching to say, hey, come on, get me in there.
Well, this is a different type of situation. We all realize we're playing for our country, and, you know, everybody's not going to get to play. That's like when they were all the controversy over how they're going to select the team. Some people who deserve it are going to get left off, and some guys who deserve playing time during the Olympics are not going to get to play. But we all going to get the same gold medal.
I don't know how much Christian Laettner is going to get to play, man. But now tell me, this guy is a collegian hanging out with you guys in Spain.
Oh, we're going to kill him, you know that.
I mean, what's it going to be like? Is this typical rookie treatment?
He's going to be, you know, he's going to be a little stronger than the rest of the rookies because they're going to start carrying bags next year. He's going to be carrying bags all summer.
Time of your life, kid. Christian Laettner getting ready for Spain and Barcelona. We have much more to talk about with Charles Barkley. We will as the night goes on. But next, it's Sir Charles at the Telestrator. You won't want to miss that. The Prudential Halftime Report continues after this. 4 in a series that's deadlocked 2-2 as the Prudential Halftime Report continues. Ernie Johnson back with Charles Barkley in our Atlanta studio. Scottie Pippen has been a story in this series because it looks like a guy who plays with as much finesse as he does is bothered more than other guys by the physical style of the Knicks, Charles.
I think Scottie and Horace Grant are going to have a problem with the physical play, but that's the only way the Knicks can win. The Chicago Bulls and the Portland Trail Blazers and maybe Seattle are the most talented teams in the league. And you can't beat them on pure talent, so you have to try to make the game as physical as possible and slow it down.
New York never lets you forget that they want to lay the muscle on you. Here is the Telestrator. Here is your debut. America waits.
America's waiting. The number 1 player in basketball and probably the hardest play to defend is the pick and roll. Right here's the area I would like for you to watch. You can see Bill Cartwright going over here to set the pick on Xavier McDaniel. So what happens is Patrick Ewing has to help. And when he comes up here to help, Bill Cartwright floats to the corner over here. So he's in a position where he's got to get back over there now to get to Bill Cartwright. But what happens is he run down too low and Bill come back to the left against Patrick Ewing's body. And when he comes to the basket, you know what's going to happen next.
I have a feeling.
It's going to be a little physical in there. And that's a great play by Charles Oakley because no babies are allowed in the playoffs.
Yeah, every now and then you got to do that. It's a 3-point game at the half. Tomorrow night, Boston and Cleveland start. Larry Bird returned the other day. Wasn't real effective, but that's kind of a touchy situation, isn't it? When you have a superstar who's ready to play, how do you fit him into a system that's really rolling?
Well, it's kind of a no-win situation. If he plays well, people are going to say it was great. If he doesn't play well, people are going to say it was a mistake. And I don't know if it was better for him to start or come in late in the game. That's debatable also. The bottom line is the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing well. They got to do something to stop Larry Nance. That's the bottom line.
Tomorrow night, Game 5, the series tied up 2 apiece. It's a best of 3. Cleveland has the home court edge, playing 2 of the next 3. Still to come tonight, we've got another game in our doubleheader. Seattle and Utah playing Game 4 of that series from Seattle. And you cap your night with Inside the NBA, Fred Hickman with Doc Rivers later tonight. Ernie Johnson with Charles Barkley, moments away from the 3rd period at Chicago Stadium. Bob Neal and Doug Collins are standing by. Charles, you got a word for Doug over here?
Doug, you got a scam going. This is a lot easier than playing and coaching. I'm like, can I keep this all year?
Charles, that's why everybody asks me about coaching, and I say I'm staying right here. Don't try to take my job now.
Charles, before you get away, you kind of sneaked in a prediction there. I wanted to get you to mention again. You think Portland is going to win it all?
Well, I felt like they should have won it 2 of the last 2 years. I think they've learned from their mistakes. They're obviously the most talented team in basketball for the last 3 years running. And I think the 3rd time is going to be a charm.
Well, it's great having you in the studio. Doug and I could hardly concentrate on the 2nd quarter waiting for the Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson Jr. story.
That is a pair.
Enough, guys. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Ernie Johnson Jr. and Charles Barkley. Remember those names. Back here at Chicago Stadium, the Knicks had an opportunity to take the lead with what might have been 46-45. Mark Jackson fell down. The Bulls got a breakaway, a flagrant foul, a chance to go into the 3-point lead at halftime, 47-45. 5. However, 47-44. However, it's still got to be a game that makes Chicago nervous.
Well, you know, New York is right there. They went through the one tough period where Chicago went on the little run to go up 30-19. They recovered. The pace of the game got back. They're shooting 54%. Chicago's doing a better job rebounding the basketball. But Mark Jackson was a difference. He did not score a point in the first half, but he brought them stability. And as I talked about Greg Anthony getting a little excited, when he was in the ball game, the Knicks were minus 13. And with Jackson in the game, they were plus 10. He got the ball to the right people. He calmed them down. I think it's going to be very important, though, if New York is going to be able to win, Bob, they must get something off their bench. Mason, no points and no rebounds in 10 minutes. Starks, 0 for 3 and nothing in 9 minutes. And Anthony, 1 field goal, 3 points in 6 minutes. They must get better production than that from their bench.
And the Bulls bench, on the other hand, has stepped in with 10 points and 6 rebounds. McDaniel having a whale of a first half, 9 of 14 from the floor for 18. Wilkins also played well. By the way, Gerald Wilkins playing with a sore ankle. You see that Jordan has 11, Pippen 8, and Grant 8. They started, Pippen and Grant, strong inside. The Knicks adjusted to that, and thus we have a 3-point game, and we are underway for the final 24 minutes in pivotal Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals. The teams tied at 2 games apiece.
Trying to get inside to Bill Cartwright to start the quarter.
5 to shoot.
Shot clock winding down. This has been not a good possession for Chicago.
That was a violation. The shot clock went off. Wave it off. Give the ball to the Knicks. You notice the missing chair there with Tex Winter and Phil Jackson on the bench. John Bach, the defensive assistant, you might call him, for Phil Jackson, and a real veteran mentor. I know he was very close to you when you coached the Bulls. In the hospital, was ill today.
Yeah, I hope Johnny's okay. Obviously, he can't hear us being in Chicago right now, the game being blacked out there, but our best wishes to him on a speedy recovery.
Ewing with the diagonal cross-court pass to McDaniel, who has not lost the heat.
Good pass out of the double team by Patrick Ewing. Also did a nice job of delivering the ball where McDaniel can get a good look at it and take the shot.
Jordan on the cut.
He had a tough shot, too. Wilkins with a hand right in his side.
Wilkins with a quick return and answers with 2. It's a 1-point Bulls lead. Oakley playing Horace Grant. McDaniel on Pippen.
Bulls are holding the ball a lot tonight. There's a nice cut by Horace Grant, but it seems to me like the ball movement is not crisp. They're holding it, and when you do that, you allow New York to set their defense. Horace Grant that time slipped the screen very nicely for the score.
7 assists for Pippen in this ballgame. Oakley kind of got lost on that play. 10 seconds to shoot inside Jackson. That's a tough shot.
Well, I thought he got fouled, too, by Scottie Pippen. No call. But a tough finish by Mark Jackson.
1-point game. Cartwright alone. He misses the jumper. Tipped out of there by Grant.
Those are the loose balls that the Knicks got in New York. Uh-oh.
Michael Jordan slips inside. He has 15.
Got to push him away from the basket. You can't have him on the baseline. He's a tightrope walker on that baseline.
McDaniel gets Pippen in the air. Got bumped. No whistle. Here comes Pippen. And he's held by Jackson. That's 3 on Jackson.
They can ill afford to lose Mark Jackson on fouls because Greg Anthony and stability out on the floor, so Mark Jackson must play smart now through these fouls.
Good job by Jackson slipping through all those screens on Paxson. Now Paxson back from Pippen.
You see when Scottie Pippen catches the ball, normally he either goes up quickly with a shot or he takes it to the basket. He's a little hesitant.
Wilkins, good job on Jordan, but that's not enough.
The one thing, though, is if Chicago's forced to go to Michael Jordan, New York can live with that.
There's that Chicago pressure. Almost stolen. Ewing to Wilkins.
An excellent recovery basket there. But, Bob, on the point of Michael, if Michael has to score a lot of points, than it takes away from the other people. The balance is what really hurts New York.
Jordan with his turnaround jumper. It's short, caught in the air by Oakley. He's thrown to the floor. No whistle. And the ball belongs to the Bulls. Pat Riley furious. Remember, Phil Jackson was ejected by the officials in game number 4 in New York. Riley really working on the officials. And now Jordan mixing up inside on the lane.
I do think the officials have done a very good job with this game tonight, though it got a little bit hectic and a little bit frenetic and frantic in the one stage. A couple flagrant fouls, but they really maintained very good control. You're talking about 3 veteran officials. Hubert Evans, one of the best in the league.
He's the man who was talking to Riley. Jordan, air ball.
Boy, Michael's complained the last 2 times feeling that Gerald Wilkins has hit him on the arm. That's 2 straight air balls for Michael.
Ewing against Cartwright. He's isolated. Into the paint and the foul. It's on Cartwright. That's his second. Both teams with 1 team foul. 8:26 to go, third quarter. Game number 5, Eastern Conference Semifinals. Bulls by 3. Series tied at 2.
This will not be a shooting foul. The foul was committed on the dribble, referee Lee Jones said. So the Knicks will inbound the ball on the side.
Phil Jackson yelling at his charges on their defensive sets.
Ewing wanting that mid-post jumper against Cartwright.
Got it, but missed the shot. Grant rebound. Here comes Michael.
4 New York Knicks, though, back defensively to take away the early transition.
Ewing steps out.
Yes, sir. Good call, Bob. Big help.
And Jackson, now it's 3-on-2 to Wilkins. Jackson goes down.
Bodies everywhere. They're not calling the flop tonight, though. Guys with a little contact are falling. They've got to stay up. They're not going to give you that call.
Talk in the press by the Bulls. Phil Jackson to say his team wanted to call attention to the physical play by the Knicks. Well, that's not going to work in that regard. Paxson with a tough drive. He draws the foul, misses the layup. That's on Oakley.
But John Paxson very aggressive going to the basket. This is going to be his 5th and 6th free throws. And again, I talked about the regular season. John only shot 37 free throws in almost 2,000 minutes of play. So not a guy that gets there very often, although he is a very, very good free throw shooter.
Lives on the spot-up jumpers. Bulls by 2, 7:34 to go, third quarter. Paxson is 5 out of 5 from the line tonight.
What New York wants to continue to do is continue to shorten this game every minute that goes off the clock, and they stay within 2 or 3 points, 2 possessions. They feel like they got a chance to win the game.
There's that full-court Bulls defense, and Ewing lost it, but that's because Jackson just threw it right into the hands of the Bulls.
He's not even looking when Mark Jackson threw that pass.
Very careless. Knicks have committed several careless turnovers tonight, knocked away by Oakley. And the lead pass to McDaniel. Look at Paxson. He couldn't do it, though.
Let me tell you something. The Chicago was very fortunate there. New York was very fortunate. That's 3 lands for Wilkins. But always remember, catch the ball in the air. If you let it bounce, it can go to anybody. They were very fortunate to get the score.
Well, with the Knicks down by 1, we were talking about what happens when you don't catch that fast break pass on the fly.
Well, Scotty, a little indecisive here, and the pass goes in the air, and you see it bounce. Paxson almost breaks it up, but there's Gerald Wilkins, 19 points in the ball game.
Chicago only 10 to shoot. Wilkins has 19. Jordan, 17.
With Michael's having to work very, very hard every possession. This is where the Bulls need Scottie Pippen. He is a guy that creates so many opportunities. Right now, Michael's being forced to create everything. Scottie has got to step up. He's very indecisive in his play right now, and a lot of that is because he's not making his outside shot.
Wilkins has 3 fouls. They cut off Jordan again. The steal by McDaniel to Jackson. A chance for the Knicks to take the lead. The last New York lead was 14 to 12. 10 to shoot. There's the big trap. Got to get it up. With 3 on the shot clock. Excellent Chicago defense.
Yes, it is. They took him right out of screen roll.
Paxson draws the foul from Jackson and the three-point play. Every time the Knicks get close, something like that happens. A defensive stand or a turnover.
Now, more importantly, that's his 4th foul. All right, so here's John Paxson again. Remember I said he loves to shoot the ball with his left hand around the basket.
And Greg Anthony, the rookie's coming in, and what a difference when Anthony and Jackson played. Jackson was in, the New York Knicks had the edge. When Anthony came in, the whole game tempo turned around, and they had to go back to Jackson.
Greg Anthony has got to compose himself. They need him now. They need 6 strong minutes from him. He's played very well in stretches during this series, but he must stay composed. Phil Jackson might put up the defensive pressure here to try to get them, again, in that frantic pace they played with Chicago. Took advantage of them with Ewing sitting down.
Knicks had pulls within 1. They now trail by 4. Paxson has the last 5 Chicago points. He's putting up a big-time game here tonight.
Well, I think he's 7 for 7 from the foul line, so when he gets to the line, he has a chance to score.
Wilkins back to Anthony.
Big.
13 feet.
Big shot.
Jordan working on Wilkins, who has 3 fouls and who has outscored Michael tonight.
Now, Anthony's got to be careful. The Knicks are in the penalty. He does not want to get a silly foul on Paxson.
Well, he got lost that time, and Paxson drains it from outside and has 10.
In game 1, it was game 2, it was B.J. Armstrong with 18 points. Tonight, it is John Paxson.
Jackson wanted to travel on Xavier McDaniel inside to Ewing. Chicago ball. Up by 4.
You notice New York is getting no offensive rebounds tonight. In the first half, they had 3. So on the misses, they're not getting any opportunities to get second and third shots. They're going to have to shoot a very high percentage if they want to win.
Paxson on the drive again. He kicks it to Pippen for 3. New York ball off Horace Grant.
You can see Scotty is very hesitant. Again, I don't want to continue to bring that up, but Scottie Pippen is a major contributor to this team, and he must play well offensively. It sort of reminds me of the games he used to play against Detroit where he couldn't get in the lane and struggled to hit his outside shot.
Wilkins into Ewing with the double team. Wilkins alone. That's a 3. No one's out.
No offensive rebounding, though, Bob. Nobody on the boards. Ewing was out on the floor. Oakley was working hard, but they're not getting any second shots.
Oakley having trouble holding on to the ball tonight. There's the offensive rebound story. Once again, Jordan isolated against Wilkins. Wilkins playing him with 3 fouls, and the Bulls now to a 6-point lead, 4 minutes to go in the quarter.
Danger time, danger time. When it's danger time, you've got to go to Patrick Ewing. He's got to catch the ball.
Remember, this has happened since Anthony went into the game. Anthony in the penetration is fouled. That's on Paxson is first.
Now John Starks is checking back in defensively to give Michael Jordan another look. Here's Greg Anthony using his quickness to get in the lane. Paxson, pretty good defense up top. I think they ruled he got him with the body. This is danger time, though. New York cannot allow Chicago to get away from them here.
Take a look at tonight's GMC Truck scoreboard. This is the score from last night. Most 9 points in playoff history. A double overtime at Phoenix. Portland took a 3-1 lead in that series. Charles Barkley's pick to win the NBA championship this year. 64-60 Bulls. 4 minutes to go, third quarter.
Michael, you got to watch him now. He's setting him up for a backdoor play, so be aware of Michael with an alley-oop player coming up soon.
Starks on Jordan. The foul, Ewing stepped up big. It was Mason and Ewing in the face. It's on Ewing. That is 3.
Ewing was in excellent position, and at the last minute, he came down with his arms. Watch his arms now. If we can hold it right there, he's in good position, and now as we roll it forward, he comes down with his arm. The minute his arm came down, it was a foul.
will step to the line to knock it down. B.J. Armstrong in for John Paxson. Bulls by 5. Dill's lead in the game has been 6 for New York and 11 for Chicago.
Paxson sensational tonight, playing very, very well.
Jordan now with 20 points.
Chicago hurt them with pressure defense with Starks and Anthony in the game the last time. Let's see if they come with it again.
They do come with it again. Starks gets around B.J. Armstrong.
Big fella's got to touch the ball. Anthony's got to bring it over and deliver it to him.
Drives and then delivers it from the baseline. Ewing misses the jump shot. Long rebound gives the Bulls a chance to open the court. Foul on Starks.
When you're in the penalty trying to play Michael Jordan, it's impossible. Now he's going to the line.
The Bulls have taken control, at least emotionally, here in the third quarter.
Yes, they have, and I think you brought out a real good point. New York had some opportunities to take the lead, and every time it seemed like something happened. Jackson missed a shot. They run out. Paxson with a three-point play. Jackson's fourth foul. He has to sit down, swing to Chicago. So anytime New York's had a chance, Chicago has closed the door and done a good job. And I will say the rebounding, a major key. Chicago 22-13 on the boards tonight. They're being out-rebounded in this series 9 per game.
And Patrick Ewing had only 5 shots in the first half. He has a total now of only 8. They cannot get the ball to Patrick Ewing and trail by 7.
Really, in Chicago, the fourth quarter's been Patrick's quarter here. We'll have to see if that's what transpires tonight.
Looking for Ewing. Now back to Patrick. He's hit hard. Both Jordan and Grant went at him. It's on Michael.
Patrick Ewing coming to the ball, wanting the ball. He can't get it, so what do? You step out and you screen. Boom, there's a screen. Now you roll, and now you take it to the basket. Good foul, though, by Michael Jordan. Make him make 2 free throws. That's what they're doing to you. You got to do the same thing to them.
Now Ewing misses the free throw. And how about this one? No offensive rebounds in this game for Patrick Ewing.
And at halftime, only 3 for the team. Now, a little that's deceiving because they shot so well. They shot almost 55%. They're not shooting well in this quarter, but they're not getting offensive rebounds.
Down by 6. 3 minutes, 9 seconds to go, the third quarter. The Knicks holding the score down, giving them that chance in the fourth quarter, which is what Pat Riley plays for. Anthony against B.J. Armstrong. Jordan posted. Bad pass.
Yeah, too hard. BJ too hard. Michael couldn't handle it. He was too close to each other to try to handle that kind of pass.
Knicks down by 6. Pat Riley gets a timeout with 2:52 to go in the third quarter. Michael Jordan with 22. To go in the third quarter. Coming up next, Jim Durham, Dick Versace out in Seattle, Utah, and the Supersonics in Game 4.
This is a play we might look back on in the game. John Paxson taking the ball to the basket. It was a 1-point game at the time. 57-56, 3-point play. Gives them a 4-point lead, but more importantly, the 4th foul against Mark Jackson.
Knicks hoping to cut the lead to 4 on this possession. 2:42.
Foul to give.
Starks, good shot.
Was an offensive rebound finally.
It's Bulls ball, and Ewing is outraged.
He's better get back. He's going to get a technical. Better get away.
Jack Nees looking away from it. Bulls by 6.
See if Chicago set up a backdoor play for Michael Jordan out of this timeout.
Jordan down to the baseline now, going to the top of your screen. Starks had a hold of him there. 7 to shoot. McDaniels rips it loose. Jordan! Hard foul from Anthony.
Now, there's been bad blood between these two guys all year. Anthony took a foul earlier in the year on Michael in the regular season that Michael did not like.
Knicks has a penalty.
Loose balls. Remember how important loose balls are. It looks like New York has it. Speed and quickness. Michael Jordan. There's the foul. Michael wanted to go to him. He said, no, I got to leave that alone. Too many years playing against the Pistons, you know you just wake up, make your free throws, and get down the floor. You got to leave that kind of distraction alone.
They're calling the Knicks the Neo Bad Boys. They beat the Pistons with the Pistons game of the 80s to get to this series. Bulls by 8. 2:07 to go in the third quarter. Here's that terrific pressure.
2 minutes to play in the third quarter.
New York is not attacking after they beat the press. They're setting up and allowing Chicago to really pressure and then now get them in a half-court game. Only 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Now 4, now 3.
Got to get it up.
And Daniel with somebody right in his face. Mason offensive board. Stick back miss. Cartwright rips it away.
Well, Mason has no points in the game. Starks has none. And Anthony has, I think, 6 off the bench. Other than that, they have not been able to get their bench involved in this game.
Anthony has only 7. 1:27 to go in the third. Bulls by 8. Jordan missing. Rebound McDaniel. Biggest lead of the game by the Bulls has been 11. Ewing gets a hook.
So Michael, looking at his teammates, said we've got to get back defensively. Scottie Pippen has not scored in this quarter. 8 points and has not scored. It's been the play of Paxson and Jordan in this quarter that has carried the team offensively.
Ewing only 4 for 10 in this game. Under a minute to go, third quarter. Ewing punches it away. Off Pippen, Knicks ball. Trailing by 6. Every time the Bulls get up around that 10-point lead, the Knicks come back and cut into it.
Again, the tentativeness. You know, Scottie makes the pass to Cartwright. The spacing is not good on the floor. He throws the ball to the wrong side. Bill does not catch it. Scottie very upset that time that Bill Cartwright did not catch that pass.
Got the switch momentarily, but then the good rotation starts in the lane.
Now, through all this, the Knicks are down 4 points.
With 34 seconds to go in the third quarter.
They get a stop here and they score, and it's a 2-point game. Remember now, Hodges, 2 3-pointers off the bench in the first half.
Got the foul on New York's John Starks.
New York personal foul 3, John Starks, his second.
That's his second. 15 foul. Armstrong goes to the line. B.J. Armstrong has not scored in this game. He got a career high in game number 2 when the Bulls came back after the opening game defeat. His best game, he's told me after the game, that he's ever played.
Is that right?
Purdue comes in for the final 28 seconds to get Cartwright out of there. Cartwright playing with 2 personal fouls. Purdue had 6 minutes in the first half. Bulls by 6. This time, Greg Anthony has performed a great deal better than he did when he came into the first half.
And they needed it, Bob, because when Jackson went down, it was a 4-point game. If they score here, it's a 4 points, so he's done a much better job. Now, he can take the ball by Hodges with his quickness.
Ewing for the jumper over Purdue. Gets the shooter's bounce.
They got to pick up defensively, though. Remember now, Hodges, 3-point shooter. You don't want to leave him.
1 second. Armstrong launches it at the buzzer. It would have counted, but it misses, and the Bulls lead by 4. The Bulls had a 3-point halftime lead, and they build it by 1 as we go into the final 12 minutes from the Madhouse on Madison Street. There's beautiful downtown Chicago and Madison Street. About 18 blocks west of there is where we are at Chicago Stadium. We are going into the final 12 minutes. The series tied at 2 games apiece. Wilkins and McDaniel have carried the scoring load. The rest of the Knicks team struggled, including Ewing, who has only 13. And Scottie Pippen has 8 points. He got 4 points early in the game, and since then has been really a non-factor.
He's been very tentative. You know, Scottie normally is a very reckless player, and I say that as a compliment. He takes chances. He gets in the lane, and he's playing very tentatively. Now, it looks to be like he's limping a little bit. I do not know if his ankle's bothering him. Michael Jordan sitting down right now. New York must take advantage of this.
Purdue, Scott Williams, B.J. Armstrong, Pippen and Hodges on the floor. Ewing missing. Pippen with a big defensive rebound. He is definitely limping.
Yeah, he is not putting that foot down on the floor at all. Now, I don't know if he re-injured the ankle that he turned early in the series, but he is not himself right now.
B.J. Armstrong to Pippen. 7 to shoot. 5.
This is where Chicago's gotten in trouble the whole game. When the shot clock works against them, they have not done a good job.
That was an ill-advised pass from Anthony to Starks. That's what these guys give you, a lot of adventure and sometimes big mistakes.
Again, Michael Jordan on the bench right now. You've got to take advantage of this situation right now. With Scottie Pippen not playing well and hurting a little bit, you've got to make your move now.
Ewing just left Purdue. 3 on the shot clock. 2, Purdue into the paint. He was fouled by Greg Anthony.
Well, they're going to give him a 2-shot foul, I think, also.
Hugh Evans, you talked about Hugh Evans being such a terrific official. He's the lead official in this game. Anthony angrily threw the ball to Evans. You know what Evans did? Instead of jumping at him, Evans pretended as though it hurt his hand, shook his head, looked at him like, boy, you throw it hard. Tries to calm the youngster down.
And that's a veteran official who's been in many, many playoff situations. Scottie Pippen out of the ballgame, Horace Grant in, so neither Michael Jordan nor Pippen on the floor right now for Chicago.
Hodges off the screen, misses the jumper. Purdue is leveled, loose ball foul on the Knicks, on Mason. Team fouls, Knicks already with 2 very quickly here in 1 minute and 15 seconds of the 4th quarter. Bulls haven't committed any yet.
It's a little surprising. We saw this a little bit in the first game, and Chicago struggled when they did not have either Scottie or Michael on the floor. Neither one of them on the floor right now. Who's going to score for this team?
Ewing just leaves Purdue. They don't get him the ball. B.J. Armstrong scores.
If Chicago can ride through this with Michael sitting and Pippen sitting with this team on the floor, they're in great shape to win this basketball game.
Into Ewing against Purdue. Blocked big by Scottie Williams. Kicks it out to Mason, open from the baseline.
That's his first basket.
Bulls by 4, 10 minutes to go in the ball game.
Every minute and second that Phil Jackson can buy right now for Michael Jordan is going to help him be able to finish this game strong. They're going to need Michael going down the stretch.
Armstrong into the paint, the foul called on Patrick Ewing, and that will give him 4 personal fouls with 9:53 remaining, and they're going to have to get Patrick on the bench. Here comes Oakley, a major call there.
Now, the one thing you have is there's no shot blocker back there for New York. Remember when Ewing went out before, what happened to this team? No shot blocker. Bulls took the ball all the way to the basket. Keep your eye on B.J. Armstrong to see if he can get in the lane and make that little medium-range shot that he's done so well in this series.
We're in game 5, tied at 2 apiece. Bulls lead here by 4. Chicago Stadium, first of a doubleheader tonight on TNT. Hodges misses the 3. Oakley gets the rebound, and Purdue comes away with a foul. First team foul against the Bulls. 3 team fouls on the Knicks. With Ewing on the bench with 4, Jackson also has 4.
Boy, Hodges shoots the 3. When he misses, you wonder how did he miss. There's Oakley with a rebound. The foul by Purdue. Michael Jordan in the game now. So with Ewing resting, Phil Jackson comes back with Jordan, trying to take advantage of the absence of Ewing inside.
Anthony being played by Hodges, looking to post up McDaniel.
Remember the last time Ewing was out, the Bulls outscored him 20-5.
Knicks not having the good offensive spacing they need, which is one of the reasons they can't make the good passes. Jordan with the foul on McDaniel on the jump shot. That's 3 on Michael. Pat Riley having a conference with Greg Anthony while we wait for the free throw. Rookie point guard from UNLV. Tremendous athletic talent. Great confidence, but can sometimes play you into trouble. McDaniel misses from the line.
Remember now, in Game 3, when Chicago was able to steal back the home court advantage, New York shot 11 for 22 from the free throw line. Free throws, again, Bob, I know I keep harping on that. They are the difference in playoff games.
They are now 12 for 16. McDaniel has 3 points this half. He had 18 in the first half.
McDaniel against Michael Jordan. He can't handle his quickness.
Jordan lost and didn't miss the jumper. Rebound Oakley. He's come away with a couple of real big rebounds since he came in for Pat Ewing, who has 4 fouls and is on the bench.
Going to go back to the post up with McDaniel against Michael Jordan.
10 to shoot for the Knicks. Pick and roll. Oakley is open. Wants the jump shot. Elected to go to the hoop. He's fouled by Scott Williams.
I think that's 14 fouls. That means it's a penalty situation the rest of the game, or maybe it's only 3.
That's the 4th foul on Scott Williams.
Only 3 team fouls. They get it up there so quickly.
3 against each. 8:39 to go in the ball game. Bulls by 3. The Knicks continue to hang into this ball game. What a series. McDaniel pulls to within 1. How about this one for all the bandwagon members of the Bulls? If the Bulls were to lose this game, it could be their last home game of the season.
Oh, boy.
Who would have thought of that?
Well, let me tell you something. This crowd is very, very nervous right now, too. They're waiting for something to happen that has not yet happened. Very, very nervous crowd.
6 seconds to shoot. Armstrong loses, starts, and brings it. B.J. Armstrong coming into his own in these playoffs.
Shades of game 2. Remember, 1-point ball game. Who was the man that made the last 6 points for Chicago? B.J. Armstrong.
Bulls by 3. There's the double team on McDaniel. He loses the ball to Jordan. Grant and Jordan combine for that steal. Grant gets it back, misses the layup, but he'll go to the line.
Now let me tell you the importance of that miss. Horace Grant has not been comfortable on the free throw line. So instead of getting this dunk, you now get 2 free throws. The double up, McDaniel does not handle it well. You bring it down, the quickness knocks it loose. And this is when Chicago is at their best. Horace on the break, Michael finds him, and he does not finish. There's the foul right there. And Horace needs this for his confidence, Bob. He is not a confident man at that line.
He got the bounce on that, and look at his reaction for just sinking the 1 free throw.
You know what that reminded me of? When you make a putt in golf.
Exactly.
Your reaction, like, I can't believe that went in.
That's why I can relate to his free throw shooting. This is for a bogey here. Only 3 rebounds for Horace Grant tonight. Now that's more like my putting. Horace Grant missing. It is a 4-point Bulls lead. That was an excellent analogy. Not one I liked, but excellent. Anthony looking for Ewing against Scott Williams, who's playing with 4 fouls. Make it 5. 4th team foul on the Bulls. The Knicks also have 4. Patrick Ewing to the line.
Patrick Ewing loves to turn with his right shoulder to the baseline and shoot the jump shot. He gets in so deep. Scott Williams rides him out with the body. Not happy with the call.
Cartwright's coming back into the game for Williams, who has the 5 fouls. And Ewing is 3 of 4 from the line tonight. Only 13 points. He does have 7 rebounds.
Keep our eye on those free throws again, Coach Neal. Both teams in the penalty, 7:28 to go. This game will be won at the free throw line.
Ewing misses. He's missed 2 tonight.
Or lost.
At the line. Ewing, I said, excellent free throw shooter. On this series, only shooting 69% coming into the game, as you look at Nick Carter and Pat Riley.
I think Patrick Ewing shoots his free throws well in stretches. He'll have games where he shoots them very well, and then he'll have a 6 for 12 free throw shooting game. That's why his percentage is not as good.
And in the games the Knicks have won, Ewing has been the man in the 4th quarter.
Yes, and big here. Remember game 1, and then in game 2, he was quiet the whole game and started hitting the baseline jumper. The crowd got very quiet, and B.J. Armstrong sparked him through.
3-point game, 7:18 remaining from Chicago Stadium. Looking for Jordan to post up against Wilkins. They couldn't get him. 7. Look at the quickness. Mason with a hard foul as B.J. Armstrong goes to the hoop.
See, I think that New York has to be very careful here, okay? They are almost committing this foul intentionally. I'm not so sure Mason couldn't have got the shot blocked. And then he comes down strong. He's 6'8" or whatever. Go up and challenge the shot. If BJ can make that shot, then tap him on the tail and say, hey, nice shot. Just don't give up a foul every time.
And that puts the Knicks in the penalty the rest of the way. 7:09, Chicago will be going to the free throw line.
Bob, sometimes you can fall in love with those hard fouls.
B.J. Armstrong, who looks for all the world as though he's about 11 years old. Very quiet, poised youngster who has come into his own this year as a substantial backup point guard in the NBA.
He's a very, very hard worker. Obviously, he's going to be the guy to step in when John Paxson leaves. But he's worked very, very hard in the offseason to improve a lot of phases of his game. Much improved defender.
All 7 of his points here in the second half. Bulls by 4. Once again, though, another significant miss at the free throw line.
Patrick Ewing coming to the post.
People flying everywhere. 10 to shoot. Ewing tried to make the pass. Grant right in his face.
Now, interesting, Paxson has played very, very well. And Hodges is in the game right now, and he's out there for a shooter. So let's see if they can free Hodges up, maybe off penetration for Michael for a three-point shot.
6 to shoot. Jordan denied the penetration the first time, but not the second. They showed big on Jordan. Backed away for an instant, and Michael slipped down the lane to get the layup. It is a 6-point Bulls lead. Rebounds, and the Dutch boy in the paint tonight. Look at the series average 44 so far tonight. New York with only 24.
And plus 14 in the paint. And if New York can score on this possession, then they will overtake Portland's halftime score last night, 74-65. They now have 73 points, 6:25 to go.
Doubles, the Bears. That's George Wendt from Cheers, and he's the man who created that statement about doubles on Saturday Night Live. Jim Belushi, Doug Collins' friend. Celebrity City here in the Midwest tonight. Bulls by 6, 6:16 to go. Ewing has it hammered, but the loose ball goes back to Wilkins. Jordan with a rebound.
Oh, Michael just went up and took it away from Ewing.
Over Ewing. Rebound Mason. Now the Knicks trying to run.
They got to convert this.
Jackson with a very tough shot.
Boy,
He's back in the game with 4 fouls, and Patrick also with 4.
He tried to draw the foul on Cartwright. I don't even think he thought about making the shot. He made the shot and did not get the foul.
Not much being whistled down there unless there's blood.
Well, the Bulls tried to go up 8. They couldn't. The Knicks cut it to 4. So, again, they're still hanging around.
Wilkins up tough on Jordan. Had to make the out pass to DJ with 4 seconds. 3, 2. Armstrong misses. Mason gets it and back into Starks. Starks has Wilkins up ahead. Can't hold on to it. Bulls ball.
Write that down right there. That possession, write it down. Could be a 2-point game, 79-77. They miss a 3-on-1 break. Now the Bulls have a chance to go up 6. You cannot give those opportunities away. Every possession becomes vital in the fourth quarter and the last 6 minutes.
Bulls have gone to B.J. Armstrong here in crunch time at the point. He's delivered so far in this playoff series.
See, Starks playing Scottie Pippen right now. They've got Gerald Wilkins on Michael Jordan.
Ewing steps up and commits his 5th foul.
I think Pat Riley's got to ride with him the rest of the game, though. I think if he takes him out, I think the game will be over. I think Pat Riley realizes that also. Patrick Ewing's got to play smart these last 5 minutes, because when he sits down, you have no presence inside to prevent Chicago from getting inside against your defense.
Which is what the Knicks have done to have this series at 2-2, is they've denied the Bulls any success inside. Michael Jordan now 11 for 13 from the line, has 27.
See, instead of converting on that fast break and being within 2 and now making the Bulls come down and get a score, now it's plus 6. That's a major play in this game.
Ewing with 5 fouls. Jackson with 4. 10 to shoot. They just drop off of Mason.
I mean, like this little floater in the lane.
Starks for three. That was big.
That guy is unbelievable. He'll go the whole game and not hit the backboard and hit a big three. He's
New York 1 for 4 from three-point range.
They always said it was great as a shooter to have no conscience. Well, he has none.
Jordan has to kick it on the penetration. Now back to Armstrong looking for Cartwright. 7 to shoot. Backing in on Ewing with the 5 fouls. Who got it? Michael Jordan. Came from the weak side, offensive board, and banked it home.
See, Michael's got some fresh legs. He was able to buy some rest. New York couldn't take advantage of it when he sat down. We talked about the importance of them doing it. They couldn't. Now Michael is as fresh, I guess, as you could be.
Ewing, 6 seconds to shoot. 4. Jackson on the penetration. Made the incredible pass on the wing right into the hands of Pippen, who stepped into the lane.
Ran away from the shot. You got to take the shot. I think Starks should have taken it.
3:43 to go in the game. Bulls lead it by 5.
Michael Jordan's going to go to the free throw line on this possession. You can bank on it.
He dished it to Pippen. And that's on him. He's gone.
Let's see who they give it to. I think they're going to give it to Mason. Oh, they're giving it to Ewing. That's it.
Ewing is out of the game with 3.5 minutes to go. Patrick Ewing tonight, 14 points, 7 rebounds, and only 5 of 14. And this crowd loved that.
Ewing has picked up 3 fouls tonight when the Bulls have taken the ball to his body. Watch this. They take it into his body. That's 3 fouls. I'm not so sure I like that call. Watch this now. Is Ewing straight up? He's got the principle of verticality. I think Pippen caused that contact.
As a matter of fact, he stepped through Ewing. Not only at him, but through him. Nevertheless, Ewing's out of the ball game. And Pat Riley gets a 20-second timeout. The Bulls lead it by 6 with 3.5 to go. In Game 4, when Ewing had foul trouble, Xavier McDaniel stepped in and provided the inside power. Let's see what he can do tonight.
I'll tell you the difference, though, Bob. The difference is they knew Ewing could come back. They know he's done for the night. Can they stay in the ball game right now knowing that he is finished? It's one thing you know that the guy's sitting over there and he can come back in, but you are right. They did go to McDaniel, and he hit some big shots.
It's interesting in the playoffs how the weaknesses of teams are shown by this. The backup centers for New York are James Donaldson and Tim McCormick. McCormick virtually at the end of a career with a bad knee, and James Donaldson has played virtually not at all in this series. So if they had to go to a center, they'd go to him. Late in this ball game, Riley will probably stay small.
He's got to stay small, and he's got to hope that his quickness can offset the size of Chicago with Grant, Cartwright, and Pippen inside. But the guy who's really hurt them is Michael Jordan with his offensive rebound. You know, we talked about that fast break since in the last minute and 45 when the New York Knicks did not convert the fast break, Bob. Ewing has committed 2 fouls, has fouled out, and Chicago has increased their lead by 3.
Pippen with his first free throw of the night. Bulls by 7.
I don't think New York will score 85 points.
John Starks has the mismatch inside to McDaniel, who missed, and Mason got the lay-in.
But you saw they were going to McDaniel. That's a good call on your part, Bob. That's the man that can score points for them. See, Michael isolates it. If he takes it past Wilkins, it's a foul.
Armstrong trying to shoot over Mason. Kept alive by Jackson. B.J. Armstrong runs down the ball. As you pointed out, the Bulls are getting the loose ball.
Those are all the hustle plays. See, Michael takes it to the basket. You're in trouble. No shot blocker.
McDaniel stayed there. Jordan missed. Grant followed.
No shot blocker.
McDaniel, nice pass. Starks went for the dunk and was fouled.
Man, the young man exploded to the basket.
Remember, he was in the slam dunk competition. He'll get 2 free throws when we return. Bulls by 7, 2:33 to go. 2.5 minutes to go in this ball game. The Bulls lead it by 7. Both teams are in the penalty. Coming up next, the Jazz and the Supersonics. Utah leading the series 2-1. Jim Durham and Dick Versace have it for you.
Let's talk about the free throws. I know I got to bring that up again because that's my baby, all right?
As long as you don't bring up my putting.
Chicago in the game, 25 for 33, 13 for 18, so they're plus 12 against New York for the game. In the fourth quarter, 6 out of 8, 2 for 4, plus 4.
And it's a 7-point Bulls lead. Starks can cut into it from the line. And does. Quieting the crowd for a moment. They have been wild here tonight. This is one of the most tense games this crowd's had to watch the Bulls play all year.
Yeah, because they know, as you've talked about, a loss tonight means they might not see this team again this year. So the importance of this crowd, and they went through a stretch where they were very, very uneasy. Still a lot of time. It's only a 5-point game, 2.5 minutes. But Chicago, I mean, New York's got to get a stop, and they got to be able to rebound the ball.
And Mason has to play Cartwright. Jordan. Tough shot from behind the backboard.
Boy, Pat Riley wanted to walk. He felt that Michael Jordan fumbled the ball and then walked with it. No call. Chicago plus 7.
Jordan 8 in this quarter, 32 in the game. 2 minutes to go. McDaniel for 3.
Man, oh man, now that guy started out the season shooting threes great. Then he went through a stretch he didn't make any. Big shot there. That keeps them alive. Down 4.
Daniel has 26. Remember, he stepped up big when Ewing was out with foul trouble before. Pat Ewing has fouled out of this game. 10 to shoot.
This is a major possession right here. Big, big possession. Shot clock winding down.
4, 3. McDaniel gets on him, and B.J. Armstrong puts up a big one. Pippen missed the offensive follow. It's 3-on-1. Starks. Jackson to Starks. He's fouled by Pippen.
Oh,
Scottie Pippen is okay.
Scottie took a nasty fall on his back.
You could hear it all the way over here when Pippen went over the back of Starks and hit the floor very hard. He's playing already with a sore ankle. Let's see if he's all right. He hit so very hard. It brought this crowd to a stunned silence.
And I want to say this in a nice way, but there's not much padding back there either for him to fall on. When Scottie goes down, this is, you see the great block, and there's the foul, and boom. You know, the only thing that saved him was the fact he rode Starks' back down most of the way before he fell.
And it looks like Pippen's okay. We'll confirm it when we return. Bulls leading by 4 with the Knicks going to the line. Pippen went down hard on this block and is back in the game.
Now again, the one thing that saved him, look, he rides Starks down before he falls. Had he fallen that full distance, he would have been in serious trouble. Now
Starks can pull the Knicks to within 3 and does not.
Let's watch this right here. The shot goes up. This is where it happened. New shot clock. Pippen grabs it. He should have brought it out. He tries to take a tough shot. Should have taken the ball back out and got a new 24-second shot clock out of there.
Meanwhile, Starks pulls the Knicks to within 3 with 1:24 to go. Still anybody's ball game. Pat Ewing on the bench with 6 fouls.
I tell you, if I'm New York, I might foul either Pippen right now or Horace Grant if he catches the ball. I do not want this guy having the basketball.
That was Wilkins who came away with the steal. Wilkins punched it loose from Jordan. And now the Knicks down by 3 with 1 minute to go. This team will not die. McDaniel. Cartwright, big rebound. Under 1 minute. Jordan calling the plays.
Well, Michael's smart. He's going to make them take a foul on him, or he's going to get to the basket.
3-point play. Wilkins fouled him. How many times has this crowd at Chicago Stadium seen that?
Let me tell you what happened, okay? I wish we could have had a camera on Phil Jackson, because Phil Jackson at Chicago came came down the floor and said, I want to make 4 passes. And Michael said, I want the ball, clear out, we're going to run open, and I'm going to make something happen. And he did, and he's going to get a 3-point play here. But he just basically said, I want the ball, we're not going to make 4 passes, I'm going to take the ball to the basket.
Well, they call it a player's game in the NBA. There's an example of it. Jordan, 35 points, 11 in the fourth quarter, 36 seconds left, and the Bulls have a 6-point lead. I mean,
did you see him?
Talk about Jordan taking over here.
Well, it's interesting. If you look at B.J. Armstrong, hold it right there. He's saying, he's got his finger up right here. He's going 4 passes. And Michael looks back at him, and you're going to watch him walk the ball down the floor, and he says, run open, which means spread the floor. He looks at B.J. and says, we're going to run open, and he does, and he makes it happen.
McDaniel launches the 3, doesn't get it. That was the game rebound by Scottie Pippen. Bulls by 6, 23 seconds to go. They'll run clock here.
So you got to keep the ball in the good free throw shooter's hands.
B.J. Armstrong is exactly that. Armstrong, an 86% free throw shooter in this series, and is 3 for 4 tonight. Well, the Bulls are going to hold on here and defend their home court and take a 3-2 lead in this series, but it goes back to New York on Thursday. Doug and I and our TNT Sports crew will be there in Madison Square Garden.
Well, I got to get your prediction. Is this series going to go 7 games? I mean, I'm
predicting yes. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm just going to ride with your possession. I'm going to sit the fence, and I'm going to say that there'll be a 7th game because that's what you said.
All right, I'm going with it. I'll ride with it. Patrick Ewing, speaking of 7, would like to have had 7 fouls. He fouled out tonight with 6. Ewing did not come up with the kind of game he has in this playoff series. He was played by the Bulls successfully in this series, in this game, like he had been in the regular season. The Bulls historically play Ewing very well. Jackson all the way to the hoop, too little too late. 94-88. Timeout.
Scott Williams did a nice thing right there. He got the ball in quickly to Michael Jordan, so they had to get the foul. They didn't able to get their press set. Smart play by Scott Williams to quickly inbound the basketball and get it to Michael Jordan. Now, see, Bob, excuse me, but remember the one point we made where Phil had a team out there without Scotty and without Michael, and Chicago couldn't dent it. And I said every minute that he could buy with Michael sitting down is going to make him fresh at the end of this game. I do not know how many points he had at the 3rd quarter. But that's 36 points for him, so he's had a big 4th quarter.
12 points in the 4th quarter. Pippen sits down, a subpar game for Pippen, but the Bulls are going to get away with it as Jordan gets another free throw in 8 seconds to go. It's 95-88. So we pointed out earlier that had the Bulls lost, this could have been their last home game, but there'll be at least one more home game in Chicago Stadium this year.
And this is also the most points that Chicago scored in a game against New York, 96.
Until now, 94 was the high. Neither team breaks 100, but the Bulls take a 3-2 lead, 96-88 from Chicago Stadium. So the Bulls win it by 8, 96-88, lead the series 3-2, and the Bulls have won every game they've won in this series by 8. That's the kind of a magic number for them.
And again, first quarter, Bulls won 22-18. The team that has won the first quarter has won every game, so we didn't even have to watch the last 3 quarters. We could have called it off then.
But think of all we'd missed. Tonight's Budweiser player of the game is Michael Jordan. One thing we would have missed was 13 points from Michael in the 4th.
More importantly, 15 for 17 from the free throw line. Michael, 68% in this series. That's major because, again, the free throw line was the difference in the game.
And remember, Pat Ewing fouled out of the game. Stay with TNT now as NBA action continues next. The Utah Jazz take on the Seattle Supersonics. For Doug Collins, this is Bob Neal saying good night from Chicago Stadium.